All right, 2.3, subtracting real numbers. Yesterday we were adding, okay? Today we are subtracting, not significantly different because we were dealing with stuff with negative signs yesterday, which is basically the exact same thing. If you add a negative number, you're subtracting. We briefly talked about that. So the subtraction rule. To subtract B from A, add the opposite of B to A. So if I have A minus B, that's the same as A plus negative B, which is the form that we saw it in yesterday. So now, instead of writing plus a negative, they'll just write A minus B. So again, a lot of this section is going to be more mental math type stuff. They're quick answers. There's not really any other notes because this just ties in with what we did yesterday. So starting with number 4, find the difference. 16 minus 32.
It's
Negative 16. Remember, if you need to, you can do it as 32 minus 16 and get that that's 16, and then the negative sign goes on, which or the sign is based on whatever number was bigger. So since this was bigger, it would be negative. So if you need to think about it that way, you can. Number 6, negative 15 minus 29. What do we do when we have two numbers that are being combined that have the same sign? Add them together, and what sign do they get? The same sign that they started with. So both of these are negative, so my final answer is going to be negative. So what's 15 plus 29?
34. No, 44. 44.
Negative 44. Eight. 14.7 minus a negative 2.3. When I have two negatives side by side, what does that tell me to do? Add. So this is really going to be 14.7 plus 2.3, which is what? 17. Negative 18.2 minus a negative 15.4. What do I have to do with one like this? I have to change this to an adding symbol. So negative 18.2 plus 15.4. Now what do I do? Subtract them. Yep, so the answer is going to be negative, so I have 18.2 minus 15.4. So take away 8.2, so 2.8, and it is negative because 18.2 is the bigger number, and it is negative. Negative 5/3 minus 8/3. What are these?
Fractions.
Fractions. What do we notice about these fractions?
Same denominator.
They're improper. They have the same denominator, so I can combine them right away, okay, because they have the same denominator. So it keeps that denominator in my answer. What is negative 5 minus 8?
Negative 13.
Negative 13. So we keep the sign of whatever it is, and we add the two numbers together. So negative 13 over 3, and you can leave your answer just like that. Now, what if I have fractions, but instead they don't have the same denominator, like this one? What do I have to do?
You have to find a common denominator.
What would the common denominator be for this one? 10. So what do I need to do to get the this one to be 10?
Multiply by 2.
Multiply them each by 2.
Yep, multiply top and bottom by 2. So this is negative 7 over 10. What does this double negative sign do?
Plus.
Plus. And then
4 over 10.
this is being multiplied by 2 over 2, which is 4 over 10. And what does that give me when I add those
3
together?
over 10.
Negative 3 over 10.
Can I move the tower reach thing?
Oh, yeah. All right, the next ones give us x and y values. So the problems, like the instructions say, evaluate the expression when x equals 7.1 and y equals negative 2.5. So 18, and this is for problem 17 through 25. Number 18 is y minus x minus 12. Somebody at the door.
Yeah, let's see anybody. Someone else.
Sounded like someone knocked at the door, so just checking. Oh, thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. So I take these numbers up here and I plug them in. So y is negative 2.5, so negative 2.5 minus x is 7.1, and then minus 12 from the problem. So I want to go left to right to follow PEMDAS now that there's more things than just the two. So negative 2.5 minus 7.1 would give us what? Negative 9.6, and then minus 12 would give me what?
Negative 21.6.
Negative 21.6. So I add those together and I keep the same sign on them. X minus parentheses y minus 13. So I'm still plugging those same numbers in. These are going in for all the problems. So I've got 7.1 minus, in parentheses, negative 2.5 minus 13. What part of this do I need to do first?
Parentheses.
The parentheses first, which gives me what?
Negative 15.5.
Yep, so negative 15.5. I have minus and a negative, so what does that tell me I need to do? So if you want to just like write over top of it like that instead of having to rewrite the whole line, that's fine. These problems that have like 3 numbers, you should have at least 1 line of work in between your final answer. You shouldn't just go all the way across and give me your answer, okay, if there's multiple numbers. So 7.1 plus 15.5 is?
22.6.
22.6. One One more of this kind. So same numbers getting plugged in. 24, 5.3 minus, in parentheses, y minus x. So I've got 5.3 minus, in parentheses, y is negative 2.5 minus x is 7.1. What do I do first?
Parentheses.
Which gives me,
9.6.
Negative 9.6.
Negative 9.
so 5.3 minus, in parentheses, negative 9.6. Negative and negative is
Positive.
positive. So then add those together and I get
14.9.
14.9.
14.9. Any questions on this type? All right, the next thing that we can do with this stuff is kind of like I'm going to say word problems. When I say word problems, they have like 5 words in them, okay? So they're not really like long, but it'll ask us something like to find the change in temperature or elevation. And so 26, it'll say from negative 5 degrees Celsius to negative 13 degrees Celsius. How much temperature change is there from negative 5 to negative 13?
Negative 8.
Negative 8. And make sure you put units on there if it's something like this that has units with it for it to be completely right. How about this one? From negative 300 feet to negative 100 feet. How much change is there?
200.
Negative 200 feet.
Yep, and it's positive because it's going from a really, really negative number to a less negative number. Hey, 1 second. Yes, ma'am. Yep, we'll be finished with our examples in about that amount of time, so that'll be perfect. Awesome, thank you. Bye. As soon as we finish our notes, Sam, you're leaving. Alright, one more of these. 30 from 4.8 degrees Fahrenheit to negative 12.6 degrees Fahrenheit. So this one is going from a positive number to a negative number. So what is the temperature change here?
Negative 15.8. Around there, I'm not sure.
You subtract 4.8 from 4.6, and then just
What does that give you?
Negative 16.2.
Negative 7.6.
Try 17.4. Okay, how much does it take to get from 14.8 to 0? Or 4.8 to 0?
4.8.
4.8, and then how far is it from 0 to negative 12.6?
Negative 12.6.
Okay, so we subtracted in both cases, so those numbers get added together. So 12.6 plus 4.8. $17.4. All right. Got like 2 more, and then we'll be done. 32. Or hold on. These ones give us, we're solving when x equals 3.6, y equals 6.6, and z equals negative 11. So number 32, in parentheses, x minus y, and then minus the absolute value of z. So I plug in our numbers here. So I've got 6.6, or not 6.6, 3.6 minus 6.6 minus the absolute value of negative 11. So 3.6 minus 6.6 is what?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. Minus, what's the absolute value of negative 11?
11.
11. So then 3 minus 11 is?
Negative 14.
Negative 14. Alright, our last one, and then we'll have the rest of the time to work on your homework problems. X minus the absolute value of y minus z. So we plug in the numbers that they gave us, 3.6 minus the absolute value of 6.6 minus negative 11. What happens inside this absolute value?
All the negatives cancel.
Well, it's addition. But
Is that what you meant? Make them add? Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Okay. So add them. So 3.6 minus, what's the absolute value of 6.6 plus 11? 17.6. 3.6 minus 17.6 is?
14.6.
So do bigger number, 17.6 minus the smaller number.
Negative 14.
So it would give us 14. The bigger number is negative, so the answer is going to be negative 14. All right, your problems are going to be three, 9, 11, 17, 21, 27, 29, 33, and 35. And these are due Monday. Did you get all these written down?
But I won't be here on Monday.
Okay. We're doing 2.4 on Monday, so you'll just have to get that work after.